Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Nicole Russo. Welcome to Spa Babies, presented by Stonestreet. We're going to take a look at the field for race number 6 at Saratoga on Thursday, August the 8th. We're going 5.5 furlongs on the turf. It's a maiden special weight for 2-year-old fillies. Nicole, the 3 Pop Idol is by McLean's Music, a Stonestreet homebred who had one of the best debuts you're ever going to see. 114 buyer speed figure running off the screen. It was only one and done on the racetrack for McLean's Music, but he's turned out to be a very good stallion.
He's turned out to be a very good stallion, and I think with some good sons out there, he's got the opportunity to start becoming a sire of sires as well. But yes, he's a very good stallion, a very good 2-year-old stallion, and very respectable turf numbers, all of which come into play in this race.
Let's start things off with the number 1 Rematch. This is a gray filly by the Factor. She's a half to Manny Bavin, a juvenile Grade 1 stakes winning sprinter on the dirt at Saratoga, who won her career debut. You'll note the asterisk next to her name. Rematch is also a half to Hear the Ghost, a debut winner and a graded stakes winner on dirt. But this pedigree is also very versatile. She's a half to Closing Bell, a stakes winner on the turf. The Factor does pretty well with 2-year-old first-time starters and turf sprinters. Interesting that Arad Ortiz takes them out for Shug McGahee.
Very interesting. And, I like that Irad should get her away well from the rail. A little bit of everything in this female family, as you said, 2-year-old ability, route ability, the turf ability, and certainly the Factor adds some speed and turf ability as well, being by the versatile Warfront. It looks like this one has been working right along, first at Fairhill, then at Belmont, then on to Saratoga. This filly, and you'll have to see how she actually behaves on race day. But looking at that work tab, I would imagine that this filly has seen a lot and that experience is going to help her be professional for her debut.
The number 2 is I'm Wishing on a Star, another gray. This one's by Maximus Mischief, based at Monmouth for trainer Mike Deeney. Jose Lascano takes them out. This one sold way up, $150,000 as a 2-year-old, and why not? She breezed in 9 and 4 for a furlong. Maximus Mischief does well with 2-year-old first-time starters, 15%. The dam has been productive, foaling 4 winners from 5 runners. I'm expecting some speed at least.
Absolutely expecting some speed as this filly comes up from Monmouth. And you mentioned that breeze, and what's particularly encouraging here is that at the Ocala Breeders Sales Company sales, they turn in those breezes on a synthetic all-weather surface. So you would think that could translate to turf speed as well.
The number 3 is Pop Idol, and what's most interesting about Pop Idol, a $100,000 yearling, is that she debuted for George Weaver up at Woodbine, ran pretty well to be third, made 2 moves in that race, showed speed, backed off the leader, went to the outside, and ran well despite being very late to change leads. After that race, she went through the auction ring, and Weaver wanted her right back, got her for $150,000.
Yeah, George Weaver, I would imagine, very happy to keep this filly off an encouraging debut. The dam was a graded stakes winner on synthetic, sprinting in Canada, but also a stakes winner routing, won the Bison City, which is part of the Canadian Triple Tiara. Rider upgrade would be the wrong phrase, but she had a great Woodbine rider up for her debut and now gets a rider who's having a great Saratoga summer for her second outing.
And that, of course, is Flavian Pratt. Pop Idol ran into Supergirl in her debut. That one is now a synthetic stakes-placed runner. The 4 is Soul Secret. This is a daughter of Seeking the Soul, a first-crop sire. I really liked Seeking the Soul. He may have wanted to go a little bit longer, but Soul Secret did sell for $60,000 as a 2-year-old. The dam has foaled 5 winners from 7 runners, and she's a half-to-debut winner. Ask Me No Secrets, another graded stakes winner going longer on the dirt. Maybe this one will want a little bit more ground. Joel Rosario takes them out.
Newly minted Hall of Famer Joel Rosario. But yeah, wanting a little bit more ground is certainly the impression that I get for this filly. I think this is the first starter by Seeking the Soul, a son of Perfect Soul. I expect his runners to perhaps have some hidden turf ability, to want a route of ground, to be classy at a route of ground, and to maybe take a little bit of time to develop.
Here's the 5, Radio Goo, a daughter of Twirling Candy, sold for $95,000 in April after breezing a furlong in a zippy 10 seconds flat. I really like Twirling Candy as a stallion. I think he's underrated. 18%, a high number of winners with juvenile debut runners. 15% winners with turf sprinters. The dams have to a good sprinter on the dirt named Vulcan, who was multiple stakes placed. So I wouldn't be surprised if this one shows a little bit of speed, figures to go off a good price for low profile connections.
Yeah, a former Mark Cassie assistant training this one, and twirling candy seems good at everything. But of course, good turf sprinters like Morticia to his credit, and does very well with his 2-year-olds.
If you believe experience counts and if you believe speed does well in these races, and it certainly does, and then maybe the six, Flirting with Time, is for you. This is a second time starter by Yorkton. The dam won 5 turf races, and this $80,000 2-year-old in training purchase showed good speed in her career debut from the inside post. She tired pretty badly, but maybe she'll have more stamina with that race under her girth.
Yeah, perhaps that race moved her forward from a fitness standpoint, and maybe it also moved her forward from a professionalism standpoint. I think sometimes these young horses that are gifted with natural speed, which I think we discussed last time, discussing her for Spa Babies, that she seemed like a very naturally fast sort of horse in the mornings. Sometimes when it comes so easily to them, they get a little bit excited when they get competitive and they burn themselves out a little. So, a number of ways that Flirting with Time could move forward from that debut.
Really intriguing entrant in here is the number 7, Moonlight Promises, a $200,000 yearling by the young stallion Promises Fulfilled. The dam was a stakes winner on the turf, going a little longer, but she's filled 5 winners from 6 runners, including Coppertown, who was a graded stakes place dirt router, but also pretty quick. And the second dam adds speed and precocity to this pedigree. Very expensive daughter of Promises Fulfilled. What can you tell us about him?
He was a multiple graded stakes winning sprinter. He was a decent 2-year-old himself, and he's doing decent numbers so far. 2 winners to his credit from a small first crop, smaller than some other first crop stallions you'll see this year. You mentioned graded placed Coppertown under the first dam, also stakes winner Central Park to her credit. This one was ran in an off the turf debut, so the turf intent was there. Finished behind a next out winner, has worked on the turf since, and Dylan Davis, having a career meet at Saratoga, won the Adirondack Sunday as one of his several wins this meet.
The number 8 is And One More Time, going out from Mark Cassie, a very expensive daughter of Omaha Beach. She sold for $750,000 as a yearling. And when you see the half siblings, you understand why. Churchtown, a stakes winner on the turf. Honor D Lady, this is a very recent family. Honor D Lady just won the Delaware Handicap, a graded stakes wakes going along on the dirt. Simply in Front, who was, I believe, placed in the Natalma as a 2-year-old up in Canada. So there's plenty of pedigree. Maybe this filly underperformed a little bit in her debut, going 4.5, but I like the Mark Cassie second and third time starters.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. And I'm willing to give 2-year-olds, well-regarded 2-year-olds, a mulligan when they underperform a little on debut. These horses are learning and developing at every stage. We'll see if they take a step forward in their second or third starts. And a very recent family, as you said. I think the yearling half sibling to this one is cataloged to sell at Phasing Tipton the next 2 nights here. So this could be an even more recent family. But And One More Time finished behind a next out winner on debut, finished behind another filly they thought highly enough to run back in the Adirondack this weekend.
Good start for her, at least from a fitness standpoint at Churchill. Jose Ortiz retains the mount. Mean Eileen completes the field. This is the second Joe Sharp trained runner. It's the second filly in the race by Twirling Candy. This one sold for $50,000 as a 2-year-old. There's certainly turf in this pedigree out of a Kitten's Joy Dam, who is a daughter of Rutherienne, a really good turf horse in her day.
Yeah, Rutherian, Ruthian, so many other good turf fillies in this family. And we mentioned before, Twirling Candy not only adds turf to the family, but I think adds a little bit of speed to kind of a stamina-oriented female family.
Let's take a look at our top picks for our Thursday Spa Baby race. You're going with Moonlight Promises. She was well regarded for her debut. She got washed off, but the fact that she showed good speed shows me there's something here, and maybe turf is going to be in her wheelhouse.
Yeah, it's encouraging to me that she ran so well on the main track in the off the turf debut behind a next out winner, and that Mark Cassie still wants to put her on the turf. The intent is there. This is where he thinks she belongs. I think she's eligible to move forward from the debut, and I think a good amount of speed in the family.
I'm focusing my play in the pick five with my top two selections. I think Pop Idol's going to be very dangerous after that good synthetic debut. I'm expecting her to move forward for George Weaver. I'm wishing on a Star is going to be a slightly better price, however. She worked very quickly at the sale, so I'm expecting a little bit of speed, and we'll see how far she can take them if she gets out of the gate with alacrity. 2359 for me. 7316 for Nicole. It is our Thursday Spa Baby Race presented by Stonestreet. Good luck.